Welcome back to Black Swan Outdoors, and today we are going to talk about the pig pen cipher. Now, there are different types of ciphers for different types of situations, and a lot of ciphers we often think about are codes. They should be unbreakable, they should be complex, so that we can send our information out and no one would ever know what it is. And that's an ideal situation for specific circumstances. However, there's oftentimes where it's more useful to have a simple code. And so, I think that we shouldn't discredit simple codes, particularly ones that can be kind of useful for kind of low security situations. So not all situations are you going to want to use a one-time pad, for example. So in our book, Guerrilla Radio, we talk about kind of how using different types of ciphers are important. And so, for example, a one-time pad, you can use that to communicate over the radio, as it had been done since World War II and then into the Cold War. And that's kind of work out more kind of polished and formalized. So if you're interested in that topic, you can check out our video. We do have a video on that. We also have some posts, and then it's, of course, in the book. But then you can also use other codes like the Playfair cipher, which we also did a video on, that is not super robust of a code, but it's a little bit easier, which means it could be faster to transmit, which means easier to understand, easier to decrypt also, which is important, because not everybody can think in the same process, the analytical process that creating codes requires. So not everybody has the intellectual ability to do particularly very sophisticated codes or the math behind that. So in that case, many times we want to use very, very simple codes, particularly codes that are easy to remember as well. Now, Morse code is very hard to remember if you haven't studied it for weeks or months, and many people don't. Even many radio operators don't even bother, because it is fairly difficult in that regard. It's like learning another language, in a way. And so the tap code, was created for that reason. People could remember tap code because they could write out what the key would be and then put their message out there. So the pig pen cipher, I believe, also originated in World War II as well, and it's kind of very similar in the same vein as the tap code, and it's going to use a series of shapes in order to communicate a message. So again, because we're doing these videos, a lot of these videos are a notebook. We can keep our we can use our notebook to record what the pig pen cipher looks like. And so for this video here, this is the pig pen cipher, and so what you have is a set of letters in a box, or pens. These are the pig pens. And then that's A through R. It's not big enough, obviously, of a shape for the entire alphabet. So you extend the alphabet with the pens that are in an X, okay, or running diagonal from each other. Okay, and so the way that this works is that A is the shape of the pen, right? Just like this. So A would look like that. Similarly, you would have I, that would be in the box. That pig is in the box, or in the pen, so it's completely enclosed. S, obviously it's not in this grid, so it's over here, so that's going to be within the V shape right here. Now this is always, the first letters are the shape. Now, to indicate the second letter, because as you can see, there's 2 letters in this pen, 2 letters in this pen, then what we're going to use is a dot to signify that. So B has a dot. So if we look over here, B, just like A, has the same shape, but with a dot in there. J, same as I, this fully enclosed, but with a dot in the middle. And then T, same as S, but with the dot in the middle. And so you could take, for example, the word black swan, and write that out, and this is what it would look like. And I apologize for I made a mistake there. But this is exactly what it would look like. So obviously this is not something that is very common or popular these days, because a lot of communications is online and off a keyboard. But if you wanted to write out a code that was very clear, not dashes and dots, but very clear based on these shapes, you could write a code out like that. And because it's very clear, and it's very deliberate, you can use gross motor skills to create this, and not a lot of thought, because you have your grid pattern right here, and it can be easily recreated. This is a great code for kind of low security situations, or situations in which, and again, most people aren't going to know this code, but it's not going to be easily broken if you don't understand that it's coming off of shapes, not off of some kind of numeric or kind of arithmetic value. So one of the things that we talked about and we'll talk about in a future video here, is that there are some codes. A lot of British codes are based off of patterns, not so much off of numbers, and so you can use this to your advantage. So hopefully you found that interesting, the Pen Cipher. If you like this kind of stuff, check out our other videos. We have a few other cipher videos and a few more coming on the way as well. Check out our Patreon. We have some interesting posts on codes, lock picking, travel, all sorts of stuff, radio communications, a whole variety of different things. So check us out over there. There's some free articles, as well as some articles behind a paywall. Yeah, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking. Throw in some comments down below if you've used this or think it's a good idea, or if you've never heard it before. Let me know. Thanks again.